minutes late due to technical issues. This time it was actually Greg's fault, so we're happy about that. Because usually it's my fault. Hey, Greg.
Yes.
Oh, oh.
Oh,
See,
you don't have my
I
voice
haven't
now?
muted you, have I?
I
No.
hope
Where's
not.
your? I can't
I
hear.
got
Oh,
lots. I got lots to say
as
today.
I said, technical difficulties. If you can't hear Greg, um, maybe you can, and I can't. No, the interview's not showing up. Oh, so I'm alone on this. This is fun, huh?
I saw a
Oh,
thing in
there we
the.
go.
Oh, am I
Perfect.
am I good now?
Yeah, you are good. And we are
Testing,
both at the
testing. We'll just
same
cut all this out of the beginning, anyways, when we edit.
right. So hello, we're joining today, and today, as you can see, new background, new year. Um, so this is kind of our gig. I'm working on the little names, and I am getting better at eCam. But this live's not about eCam. It is about just because you can doesn't mean you should. We're talking about websites and DIYing. Are we talking about DIYing websites or DIYing everything?
It's sort of um a DIY as it pertains to people being able to do their own websites or graphic design or use
Mm,
tools to help them with SEO, digital marketing. It's kind of encompassing everything that really we talk about, and
okay.
the DIY landscape around it.
Right, but don't you get good at stuff by doing DIY stuff?
You do, but I'm assuming most business owners are trying to get good at running their business, not trying to
Mm.
get good at, performing SEO or building a website.
Well, you
You
and
know?
I have both met business owners who think it's easy and that they can do it themselves. Yeah?
hmm
Yes,
Yeah.
we have. Yes. And I mean, I find that a stumbling block. Well, now I don't think people think that so much. Now I think people know they need an expert. Even with all these DIY AI tools coming out, it's still like you log into a system and you're like, whoa, I'm overwhelmed. Right. So I mean, I gave up doing my own website because it's a lot. Like it's a lot to be an expert there, right? And I am, being an SEO expert, I know website stuff, but I do turn to you and Phelan for some of the technical things, some just some of the website things, like. But so you recently have written a blog post, is that correct? Is it up yet?
Yeah, it went up this morning.
Ooh.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, we'll share a
First
link to it.
blog post for my own site ever,
Ever? Like ever,
ever,
ever, ever,
ever,
ever?
ever.
Oh my god, I'm gonna share you play that song later. That's awesome. Congratulations,
We'll see. We'll
marketer.
see how it goes. It was more. I'm doing it because obviously committing to this season of Geek Speak,
Hmm.
I wanted to do something different, like switch it up. I don't try to be better in what I'm presenting to people. So I thought if I limited, obviously, I don't know, I hope everybody might be aware now, but I'm limiting my time with Geek Speak to one topic a month, plus joining you guys on the monthly roundup.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically,
Look
I
at
have
us.
this year identified a 12 months of topics. And each topic, I will have a blog that supports and also come on and do the live about that topic. And obviously, our first one today is about DIY and why you should or why you shouldn't
Do
be
it.
doing your own stuff.
Now we will stay on a little later today. I think if you can, Greg, can you? I think I can.
Yeah, I
Um,
can go an extra 10 or 15 minutes to
okay, awesome.
get us to the 30-minute mark.
And we have a couple people joining us. So if you're out there, say a hello so I can look awkward while I put your comments on the screen because I'm almost perfect, but I'm not perfect.
I'd
Um,
like if people are watching to maybe comment whether or not they DIY some of their web or digital marketing things,
I do.
or either all of it, or some of it, or none of it. Let us know in the comments what you guys do.
Aura says hello. Let me get you up there, Aura. And Phelan says hi. And I'm working on getting the comments in there. But so the question is, do you DIY your website? Um, let's see. Oh, hold on. Let me. I don't know how to. Did it just? It's supposed to just show up. Hold on. Yeah, I did.
It is showing up underneath. There you go.
Aura did it, and
Hi,
Aura.
or
Hi, Aura. Aura DIYs a lot of her stuff. Dude, look at my pro action. Phelan saying hello. Oh my God, Greg, you must be so thrilled. I'm not moving stuff
this
around the
this
screen.
is pretty exciting because now you don't have to move stuff around. The stuff just shows up for you.
Yep, yep. I'm taking a course on how
Nice.
to do better video because I like doing this. I love having these discussions about websites and DIYing. Phelan is saying he does a lot of DIY. Yeah, you're a programmer, so I think all programmers do that,
Yeah.
right? The comments are magic. I love you, Aura. That is love right there. We're gonna get old in an old folks home together one day. um, all of us. You're
Okay,
all
so let's
trigger
get
speed.
into the meat
The
of
nitty gritty.
the DIY.
So before we start, I need to say we all start out DIYing if we're in business and we're kind of digital. So I think that some people are very good at DIYing, and some people should figure out that they should leave it alone. I'm one of those people that had to figure out I can't do graphic design because I move an object for 8 hours. It's not healthy, right? But actually, you know what I got? Somebody gave me a template that outlines where I put the video, so that's really helpful. So I think maybe working with a marketer to get those outline kind of things, you
hmm
know. Anyway,
hmm
Greg, you have a flow to go through with your article, so let's give her. Tell me the first thing.
Yeah, basically, the one of the biggest points that I was going to bring up with this is the expertise and experience with that comes with just getting a professional who knows what they're doing to work on whatever it is you want worked on, whether it's your website or a logo or whatever, your SEO or digital marketing stuff. They have like so much years of experience behind them. They will think of things that you just can't even think
Mm,
of because they've been in certain situations. They've gone through all of the processes of making sites or doing graphic design, and you just, if you're doing it yourself, you have to figure all of that stuff out yourself. And to some context, I would say that's a good thing because most business owners really need to figure out what their business is all about.
mm,
And sometimes going through this process of maybe building their own website, it'll force them to really look at what they're doing in their business and and define that. You would hope that most people doing it right will have had those things defined up front when
mm.
they decide to start a business. But we all know there are many people out there who are just go-getters, and they say, I'm gonna try
Do it
something
myself.
and
Or
go off
or
and
they
do it.
they think it's really easy. We actually had somebody come back to us recently that in their email they said, "I wish I had never left you." Yes, it felt really good. Um because they thought they could do it on their own and manage it. And I mean, it's a Google ad, so that's a different piece, but it can get just as technical as a website, right? I think,
Hmm
and yeah, I think you're right about like just the nuance of it all. That's why it's always good to know a web guy. It is always because I remember a long time ago how we had a site hacked, and you were the one that you helped. You know, you jumped in there. What you want, I think, in a web dev or a designer is somebody that will jump on a call if something's broken, right? Or will I think people think DIYing a website is updating plugins and doing a backup.
Well, for maintenance, maybe. But like a DIY of your website, really, you're like, okay, what platform do I choose?
Mm,
What's the easiest for me to actually do it myself? Like, are these
right.
can I learn these tools
Mm,
quickly to build what I want, even if I know what I want or
yeah.
not yet, right?
I think, yeah, I think one of the biggest issues is like for images, I don't think clients know. I don't think people know that you can't just put an image on your website like you put an image on Facebook or
Hmm.
Instagram or
Hmm.
Google Business. And I mean, maybe lots of people know. I know lots of marketers know, but lots of marketers don't. That it's heavy, right? Images are heavy, and they are the things that slow down your site, and that ruins user experience. And so there's a lot that goes into the under the hood. I had a client say, "I hate that term now."
Oh, really? The
Yeah,
term
yeah,
under
yeah.
the hood?
Under the hood. Like, let
Huh.
us get under the hood, and then we can tell you more. Right? We
Okay.
can't we can't make a plan without looking. You know.
There are standard or like I don't know cookie cutter business lingo that I just can't stand when I
Ooh,
hear
tell me
people
more.
say
But this
those.
is not our topic.
I
Tell me
don't know.
one.
Maybe that's a future topic one of you guys can do, and
What
I'll
words
just
irritate me?
join on or
It
something.
changes every year. Some people hate the word organic. I'm like, dude, what do you call like natural listing? Like, I don't get it. I don't know.
I'm talking about terms like, oh, let's dive deeper into that, or like just cheesy stuff.
I like that. I like the tell me more. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Okay, not to get off track here, but
Yeah, tell me more.
what the second point that I came up with for my article was more pertaining to the design aspect, either
Mm,
logo or website, and really knowing anything about design. And how to come up with layouts and white
mm,
space and letting things breathe and knowing um, how things will capture people's eye if you have a larger heading and then a smaller heading and then subtext and then where like there is so much complexity to design, not just to make something look good but make it effective,
mm.
to capture your audience and get whatever message across you're trying to, whether it be on your website or in some marketing material. And
Is it? Yeah, go on. Sorry.
an expert is going to have all of that behind them, right? They're basically really going to talk to you about what your goals are, for what your project is, and then develop that for you. And you don't have
Mm.
to think about whether something looks good. And so that brings me
Wait,
to
wait. I
the
got a hello. I got a hello from Jody. I'm cutting you off, and I got Trish is here, and she says she does a lot of DIY. Okay, awesome.
Mhm.
Hi Jody, and so sorry to cut you off, Greg. And Aura was saying she DIY'd some. She sees. Look, you'll like this, Greg. Also means DIY, looking at problems from one perspective. Mm.
Mhm.
Hmm. So, and she's talking about Tag Manager. Okay, your next point. Now that we're going into it.
Yeah, so further on the design aspect is like I know tons of people use Canva, and Canva is great if you want to quickly build social
Social.
graphics
Mm.
or some marketing material to share either on your website or on your social channels.
Well, wait, hold
And
on.
they have tons and tons of templates
They do.
available to you. But and so people think, oh, this is great. It looks good. I can put my message across. fill in, pick a something that looks good, and then put in your information. Maybe upload
Yeah.
a different image that relates more to your business. But the downfall of these things being so easy to use is that businesses' graphics and branding in general can become all over the place if they don't truly know what they're doing. And
I wouldn't know what you mean. I wouldn't know what
branding
you
in
mean.
your business is key to people recognizing and associating with
You with
your
something.
business.
Yeah, it is true. It is true. We're actually there's a somebody I'm talking to about kind of design and stuff. She's really good at drawing. Um Needless to say, I think you are right. I do think that one of the major things that comes up with this is that I'm seeing a lot of last year at the end of the year, we were seeing a lot of copycats. People coming to us saying, oh my God, people are copying our content, they're copying our graphics, they're copying, right? And it's because you don't have that thing defined, right? It's because
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to copy. And so, the question, should I use chat GPT to try to beat them out, with text? Like content, and I'm like, well, they'll just like, that's a copy. Like, you can't, you need to have things that are you. And yeah, I mean, design changes year after year too, right? So trying to keep up with that and using an expert. I know I am not a designer. I made my own logo. It's a fish. I'm in marketing. How does that make sense? It can, because I can tell a story about it. But when you see my brand, that fish might throw you off for marketing, right? Um, it's our piranha. Piranha. We take a bite out of marketing.
I like your fish. I think it's
Love the
cute
fish. I
and
love the
it's
fish.
very distinctive for your brand. So
Yeah.
I like that
Thanks.
symbol because if people just continually see that with your brand, as soon as they see that, they know this is
Yeah,
Seymour Digital
that's
Marketing.
true. And
Yeah.
and to be honest, like, even though I did make my own fish, there's Greg, he's back. You Even though I did make my own fish, eventually I did have people remake it with proper colors. And so yeah, where
I
it didn't look
remember
like the
working on it a
scribble.
little bit.
Yeah. I think the fish is yours, actually. Go figure. So there's an art to the branding, is what we're saying. So there's art to websites, and I mean, if you're gonna go deep and do it yourself, fine, you know. But like, if we can all get to that level where we can pay other people, I think that's hugely important. Like, and I'll tell you something about Canva. You download those images, you put them on your website. You know what? They're heavy as. Like, they are super, like, they are bulky, and they're not supposed to be that big. So
Hmm.
that kills me with Canva that they do that. And as an SEO, it's super painful to train people that way. But yeah. So what's next? We got
So
optimization and
yeah, moving
performance.
on. One of the things I think that are critical for sure for a website is the optimization and performance of the website. So if you're using if you're doing your own stuff, whatever the platform, and you don't have that deep understanding of um, web hosting, speed,
Mm,
optimizing your images, performing SEO with the right words, all of these different things, optimization and performance of your site is really going to lack. And getting a professional to do that for you, like I don't even tell my clients about this. I just build
do it.
websites how they need to be built properly for speed, properly for search engines, H1s, H2 or H3s, images with alt text, like everything that I build gets all of these things implemented as I build it. Whereas when people are doing it themselves, they can throw in an image, they can throw in a heading, or they can throw in something that looks like a heading. But if they're not using the header tag, they're just
Mm,
throwing in text and making it big so it looks like a heading.
yeah.
That's not doing anything for your SEO. if you're not optimizing your image, if you're not putting in alt text, these things. If you just know how to put an image on your page, it's not doing anything for the
Right?
optimization and performance of your site. And a lot of people don't even know to think about that stuff
They
until
don't. It's
after
too
it's
late.
completely done, and then they're like, why is my website not performing very well?
Mm,
And so having that right off the hop, and getting someone to do it, and work with you to get those things implemented right away will jumpstart your site to be on a good level right away.
it's true. So maybe getting it built and then learning to take care of it yourself. Like there are different options. I will say I am working with a website designer, but that's the thing is she's a designer. And
Hmm.
I love designers, but designers don't know necessarily SEO. Like if you show a web designer and myself a page on a website, I'll think it's the worst thing ever and she'll think it's the best thing ever or whatever, you know? Um, and that's coming from two different professions. The reality is though, as a designer, it should be essential to start to know about how images go on websites, how heavy are they, what's the like if I work on Squarespace websites, then I should know how big and like what's the biggest size I should upload. Like I need to know that stuff, right? If
Hmm.
I'm building the website, like,
Hmm.
um, or do you think the web developer should know that? Because there's a difference between a designer and a developer, right?
Well, a designer typically like will just work on the design, and they typically do know, if
Do
this
they?
image is going to be used for print or web. They know one needs to be higher resolution, one needs to be more optimized for a website.
Mm,
So they probably will provide you graphic. If you say I need some web graphics, they probably will provide you graphics that are ready, or they should at least provide
they
graphics
should,
that are
right?
ready for your website. But the
They
developer
yeah.
for sure would know that if he's implementing this stuff on your site, that it has to be,
Well,
um,
I
like
think the
that.
developer would, yeah, would end up being more doing research too, right? If they, because I mean, if they're doing it all the time, they're gonna know for which, like, if they're using Squarespace. Like, I actually originally thought Squarespace, Shopify, Wix, you could just upload an image and it will size it for you. Well, that's a big fat juicy lie. They'll size it to a point, but
Hmm.
if you're uploading a photo, that thing's massive, right? Like it's gonna like grind you to a halt, and then that's like that's the fastest way to lose traffic, right? Because they're in
Yeah,
that in between. They click on the website, they never get there, and they go right. So yeah, I think
yeah.
it's fascinating the design of websites and how they work and how we can use them for our businesses now, right? And like, and I know a lot of us start our business with zero money. And so it's hard. So I get the DIY. But I mean, when you can afford it, I mean, this stuff is fascinating. And to work with professionals that know what they're doing, I mean, it's pretty impressive, right? And with marketing, there's so many seats at the table, right?
Hmm.
So we got to performance and opt. So what have we done so far, Greg? We've done, this is
We
great.
got. I have one more, and then sort of a wrap up. And
Ooh,
so my next point was a time and efficiency aspect of all of this, and we sort of touched on it at the very beginning. Is even though these tools are out here that you can do everything on your own if you like, there's a time and efficiency and learning factor of doing all of these things. And for the most part, you DIY to save money, right?
mm,
But people don't necessarily think of time as money. So, depending on how much time you're spending on this away from actually trying to build your business, whatever it is you're doing, you're focusing on
the wrong
learning
thing.
this stuff, which is not your business. Good to know maybe in the future,
Good to be able to
um,
talk about it with the people that you're
for,
hiring,
for
right?
sure, for sure. But I just wanted people to realize the time, and learning
Oh,
curve
yeah.
on a lot of this stuff. is really large, and to consider whether or not that time that they're spending DIYing could be better spent doing other more important things for their business.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's something it's hard to learn. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I it's hard to give up, some control sometimes. We're not always going to know what's best or what looks best or, the most cutting edge things, right? And I think as we go deeper into the online space where everybody is doing a lot of business, um, I think it affects like what we're doing, like, and if we focus on like, so why do we have a website? I don't know why that's blinking out on me, but I'll figure it out. But why we have a website is to bring us business, right? The reality is that if you build it, they don't necessarily come. We want them
Mm-hmm.
to come. We want them to show up, and we do things like SEO or good branding or all those things to get people there. But like, if you're doing it yourself, first of all, you're a novice, so it's gonna like, let's be reasonable. Your first thing you ever did looked like shit. I know mine did. That's why Greg reached out to me for the Facebook group, right? And that's how we became fast and furious friends. But the I was trying to DIY it, and Greg makes much better graphics than I do. So I do think that the time and doing what, like, because there's some story about a guy who goes in because some machine's not working and he taps it, and then he sends a bill for $50,000, and the guy says, "Oh my God, you tapped the machine, right? Why does that cost me $50,000? It took 2 seconds." And the
Mm-hmm.
guy says, "Well, it's $1 for the machine tap. It's $49,999 to know where exactly to tap, right,
Mm-hmm.
over the years." And I think that's huge when it comes to like time and efficiency and like, I guess not stay we should all stay in our lanes, but realize when, you have money and you want more time.
I've come across that specific scenario a couple of times in my career, and one jumps out that was more recent, where a customer was trying to get something done on their site, but they went to like Fiverr or
Oh, Fiverr,
Upwork
did
or
you say
Fiverr,
Fever?
whatever. Fiverr, Fiverr, I don't know
I
how
love
to
it.
pronounce it. I don't use it. I'm not on it. Anyways, they were looking for like someone just cheap who knew how to do web WordPress, something
Mm,
on WordPress, and they actually had gone through two or three people like trying to get them to do something,
mm-hmm,
um, and finally the client, not the client but someone who assists the client, said like, just let me ask my guy if he can do this for us. And she sent it to me and I had it done within a half an hour. And these other people that they asked, they're like, I don't know how to do what you want done,
oh,
um, or they just couldn't figure it out. And within a half an hour, I had fixed whatever it was that they wanted to fix. So I don't know how much they were going to pay these people that they found
um,
on these sites, but the time and energy they spent trying to find someone to do it for like cheap, when they could have just gone to someone reputable, someone who knows what they're doing,
mm-hmm,
um, and get charged 37.50,
yeah,
to have it done within a half an hour.
right. And like, yeah, isn't and that's very inexpensive in the long run, like versus all the time, right? Like, it's interesting how I think we value time and what we value in it, right? And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it is cool. Online is cool, and like learning how to do things, I think it's cool. But maximizing, your time off, maximizing, what kind of joy you're having in your life, or if you want to bash your head against a wall trying to fix something and pay like minimum price, right? So I mean, it's just a race to the bottom for the people charging the least, like, and it's, if you're, yeah, I'd rather go with an expert, and I'd rather try to trust that expert, right? So, and that's why word of mouth works so well, because
Yeah,
that's when you, yeah,
the majority of my work is all referral.
word of mouth.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
I know this
Right.
guy, he's reliable, he'll take care of you. Go talk to him.
Yeah. It's true. There
And
are
so,
oh, we got I think it might be Trish saying, there are a lot of issues when it comes to Fiverr. People are great in there, but it is DIY and it is inexpensive, and can be some, you know, difficulties with language and culture and things like that, right?
mhm.
So which I think it's fascinating. It's fascinating that we can work all around the world now. Oh, it's Jody Peters. Hi, Jody. Um, and yeah, I find it, yeah, it's just it's every you know it's we can find amazing skills everywhere. A lot of what we do is about communication, though, about our expertise. So I find that
So for me, wrapping up this DIY topic, final points would be, um, to have a professional in your back pocket, at least,
mm,
if you are doing DIY, so
yeah.
that you can, even if you really want to do things yourself, have someone who knows what they're doing, that you can, ask questions, or just have on the side as a consultant, maybe, just to make sure you're doing things properly. Because if you are doing everything yourself, eventually you will probably get to a point where you're too busy in your business and you do want to offload
Hmm.
some of this stuff to someone who you can trust. So having someone, that can take care of those things sooner than later,
Agree.
would be worthwhile.
That's your wrap up. That the wrap
Sure, that's the wrap up.
up?
We're at our half hour now.
We are. We're sorry we were late today, everybody. At least we worked it out, and look how good we look. We I will be back here next week. Greg is not going to be joining us, but we will be joined by Irina, and I believe we are talking about. I might not be joined by Irina. I might be joined by Phelan, and we're talking about email marketing and which one do you choose? You
Yeah,
know.
I see the topic is supposed to be Rena and Phelan. Is it you?
Yeah, Rena is in a course for 6 weeks. So
Oh,
it is me. It is me. But I'm excited.
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're also going to be live streaming teaching Google Business Profile in the next 4 weeks. So that should be fun. I'll stream it through the Facebook group too, I think. So if you're interested in learning Google Business Profile this year, I am teaching it for free and giving it all away. So that should be really fun. Hey, Greg,
Yes.
if people were looking for you, where would they find you?
Oh, they would definitely go to original72.com.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
All
would
right.
see a really nice profile shot of me looking
Mm.
all friendly at the bottom. You should go check it out.
All right. All right. Yeah, yeah. And check out that blog post. We'll share a link in the comments below. And if you have any questions or need anything, reach out to us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for
Bye.
joining us, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks for joining. Bye, guys.